As some of you will be aware, it's been a while since Commander Palantir has ventured out anywhere in space, let alone bother to visit his friends out here at the Orbital. Well, that all changed earlier this week when the galley on his ship was unexpectedly closed down a day early, which meant he could put his best frilly penny in for washing, finally stop being such an embarrassment, and help out with Too Hot Too Messy. He's gone back into whatever hole he crawled out of right now, but he did leave behind his diary, which obviously we're going to read out so as to cause maximum shame. His words are spoken by a truly terrible actor.
Dear Diary, I think it was January this year when I last sat in my Python, the Carol Cleveland. Despite that, the smell from the water recycling plant still hasn't dissipated, meaning that I'll have to spend the entire journey with my remlock on again. I think someone's having me on about the so-called problems with the Thargoids. I mean, when I arrived to look at my ship in the hangar, there were sparks flying about the place, sirens going off, and there seemed to be a right kerfuffle. But the moment I entered the ship and sat down, it was all calm, gleaming, and not a sign of anything green-coloured. I'll admit that I was a bit rusty and that I'd completely forgotten where the handbrake is on one of these things, but after a nice word with someone who sounds a lot like Captain Kirk, I was outside the station wondering where to go. Somehow, I managed to plot a course for Hutton. The ship's not been there for a while, but it knows where home is, so I could just let it have its head and sit back and doze. A gantry flying past my cockpit brought me out of my reverie, and I realised that I'd instinctively dropped out far too close as usual, but Pad 3 was available. As was Cubicle 3, luckily. Good old Hutton Orbital. Some things never change, and with our lack of decorating budget, I'm not surprised. Wanders is still open, despite the nasty rashes. The Rotunda is still not a safe place at night. And Studio 5 is still in a similar place to where it was before the explosion. I'm waiting for the other crew to arrive, but in the meantime, there's a note on the desk from Banter, and it says, "In case of script shortage, press button." Okay, here goes.
Our mics are live.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Harry Balzac, and until the authorities manage to work out where I am, I shall be your host for this evening.
I'm Wilma Fingerdo, and I ain't a grass, so I ain't saying nothing.
I'm Mia Harkness, and with my rap sheet, I think I'm just going to hide.
I'm Wanker, and they wouldn't dare touch me. They just wouldn't.
I'm Norma Stockers, and Pan. Need I say more?
And I'm Sandy Crevice. I'm already on the phone. I'm just being put through to the relative department, so once we are one presenter short a bit later on, you can thank me then.
I'm just going to hide behind these convenient headlines.
Palantir's Palantir refuses to come unstuck.
Large pad leaves locals livid.
Too Hot Too Messy update, week 21.
Mr. Washy does the dirty.
Beaver, to save mankind from hairy situation.
Cleaning up the streets. Be careful where you park.
In the Hutton BGS, Wolf 25 goes tits up in a big bust.
Correspondents have been corresponding.
The illustrious Commander Palantir became entangled in a tricky situation at Eddie Lee Wise's boutique on the parade at Hutton Orbital earlier today. He tried on a new helmet model in preparation for his much vaunted return to space adventuring after a hiatus where he worked as a cook and a burger hauler. Our intrepid hero struggled to get the aforementioned helmet onto his home until he finally had to be assisted by one of Mr. Wise's sons and his daughters and a mallet. Once on, he complained that it was a bit snug, despite the attending staff all commenting on how well it suited him. He declined Mr. Wise Jr.'s suggestion that he wear it out of the shop, and instead asked if his helmet could be removed due to the incredible pressure on his skull, and as his nose was now blocking the view from his left eye. There followed an impassioned and sustained attempt to remove the offending item of headjoy from Palantir's Palantir, with the Wise brothers pulling and the hatless commander's legs, while the Wise sisters focused on his helmet. In the end, not even Mr. Wise Sr.'s attempts to loosen it up with a blowtorch could shift the crushing head protector, and only succeeded in singeing the prisoner's ostentatious ear hair, filling the limited space inside it with the smell of burning hair, which in turn led to a sneezing fit. Finally, after a trip to the infirmary, Nurse Wyeth was able to use medical-grade butter to remove Palantir from his confinement, to the accompaniment of a loud popping noise and 3 pints of sinus fluid splashing onto the infirmary floor. Commander Palantir has since been diagnosed with having a massive head, described by Nurse Wyeth as looking like a snowball on a toothpick. He has also been directed to buy future head coverings from the Big Pretty section.
The Brewer Corporation have submitted a controversial planning request today for Hutton authorities to add a large pad to the station. A spokesperson for Brewer said, "Although the medium pad was large enough for us to park a Python on, it just does not have the facilities to support the larger ships needed to keep up with the demand for tritium. It makes sense to add just one large pad to the orbital and an executive lounge and a gift shop, obviously. Maybe some fancier shops, and would it kill you to build a decent restaurant in this place?" Since the introduction of fleet carriers, the demand for tritium has skyrocketed. Skyrocketed. Refinery stations have been overrun by demands for the new wonder fuel, and this heralds a move by Brewer to streamline the extraction and supply. Brewer Corporation are not without controversy. The fleet carrier manufacturers initially sold their megaships to commanders coated in paint, which did not survive jumps through witch space, resulting in paint crews having to accompany early models everywhere and providing brightly coloured retrieval wallets instead of escape pods to seal themselves inside in the event of a crash. These later turned out to be badly disguised body bags. Hutton locals have begun a sit-in protest outside of the Brewer Corporation office in an effort to force the company to reconsider their plans amid fears that the large pad would change the fundamental cheerful grottiness which defines the station and its inhabitants. One yokel said, "If they add a large pad and put a Type 9 on it, then the station would tip over and walk straight down in one end." Another commented, "We don't like incomers, they have strange ways." A spokesman for Red Planet Taxi Service, a budget travel company based on the station, was more optimistic, saying, "That's a great idea. If we could hog a large landing pad with one of our haulers, it would make our drivers feel really good about themselves. It'd be great advertising for the company. Bring it on." He then ran off, pursued by locals with pitchforks and flaming torches. And this reporter's thought, get your tritium somewhere else. It's bound to be nicer and you're less likely to get food poisoning or gangrene. Also, why do they have pitchforks on a space station?
Too Hot, Too Messy has been going for 21 weeks. Can you believe it? Not, but total deliveries are sitting at 45,500 mugs and gin. We had a good week last week, but clearly some have overdone it on the Levy and Brandy. Sprouts and mince pies are nodded off in the chair, so we're down by a third. Remember, doing sprout farts in your armchair and blaming it on the dog might be fun, but it's no cure for mugs. Every mug counts, and also, you may just win a real mug by taking part. What do you get from Tharg, eh? Other than the lingering burning smell and maybe a trip to the rebuy agent. 5 new commanders have joined the effort this week, taking the number to 269 participants. 2 new squadrons are represented, increasing the number taking part to 85. And of course, more are always welcome. Naturally, Hutton are blazing their own mug fire across the bowl, but with less green goo and fire than Thar, collectively delivering over 19,000 seasonal mug and gin gift sets. The Winged Hussars are still in second with almost 2,300 muggings, and the Paladins are holding third with over 1,500. The Buckyball Racing Club have moved up to fourth with almost 1,300 muggings, thanks to Shay Blackwood's seasonal spurt. Yes, we see you in the chat. That dull guy in the green Christmas combat sweater is still out in front with almost 3,900 mugs and gin delivered. Some say that he's been doing lots of ground combat this week in Al Mazrah. Waller 81 is in second place with over 3,300, but he's been caught by Nem, we see in the chat also, pushing 3,200 in third. As predicted last week, Shay Blackwood smashed down the door of the 1,000 Club to the cry of FBI, open up! And the club now has its 8th member. How do we know all this? Because it's tracked by the marvel that is the Hutton Helper and updated live on the Too Hot Too Messy event page at hot.forthemug.com/hotmess2. Apart from the glory alone, there is an additional incentive in the form of the chance to win a real world, handle the right way up, Velcro-free mods for renting Hutton mug. Any commander that delivers 10 mugs and gin in a week will be entered into that week's draw to win a real Hutton mug. Unless, of course, you already have one, in which case you'll already have been immunised against mods. 20 commanders have accomplished this so far, so you can see a little golden mug next to their names in the top commanders table, and keep listening for this week's winner to be announced in the banter bit after the news. If you had delivered 10 mugs and gin in a week, you'd have racked up 210 next to your commander name. And if you haven't, pull your finger out of whichever orifice it is blocking and jump to it. How do I join in the fun, I hear you ask? First, well, you need to sign up by downloading the Hutton Helper from hot.forthemug.com/download. And your mug and gin deliveries will be automatically registered for you by Amazon. No, by Entarius Fusion's genetically altered bionic hamsters.
Local oaf Cecil B. Trumpington has had to invest in a new Mr. Washy laundry robot after leaving a hip flask, thankfully empty, inside one of his tweed jackets. It is believed that the foreign object became entangled in Mr. Washy's machinery, causing the laundry bot to strip a bearing and send tiny metal balls ricocheting into each other, delicate parts of its workings. In turn, Mr. Washy, famous for his trademark catchphrase, "I am Mr. Washy, give me your socks," developed a severe case of indigestion and deposited the whole mess on the floor of Cecil's apartment. Bogbot Incorporated, who provide a range of household machines to deal with the more mundane or unsavoury household tasks, have provided a replacement unit complete with GalWeb connection. They did not comment on why a Mr. Washy would need advanced network capabilities other than to confirm that it was only allowed to use this for good things. They have compensated Mr. Trumpington for loss of one vintage tweed jacket with a selection of miniatures sewn into the lining, a pair of rare polonium-infused glow-in-the-dark socks, a Union Jack hanky, 2 cravats and a sequined thong/eye patch from a particularly racy evening at Wonders. As it waddled its way out to the truck, the old Mr. Washy was heard to mutter, "I did it on purpose. I couldn't face another pair of his pants."
And next, news from the natural world. Naturalists, not naturists because that would change the entire tone of this article, are campaigning for the return of a much-loved and necessary part of Earth's biodiversity. Beaver. Long extinct on Earth, for centuries the public have complained that the absence of beaver on parts of old Earth where it once was abundant is a travesty that should be addressed. Whilst the night shift, many of whom are American heritage, have plenty of beaver on their adopted planets. The day shift, hailing from what's left of the United Kingdom, don't have any. With rising sea levels, climate change, yes, in 3308 we have all accepted that it was a bad idea and meant places like London sunk under the waves and Birmingham had to be renamed Birmingham on Sea. Wild weather patterns and flash floods are a problem, and the easiest solution is, well, in this case, it's not technology. It's beaver. Beavers love messing about with and munching on wood, which of course helps with rivers and flooding. Not sure what you thought we meant, but wash your brain out with soap. And dead meat, keep your hands where we can see them. Plus, just about everyone likes a little beaver. Or wood. Or both. Anyway, we support this important natural way to stop much of the rest of the planet Earth turning into Venice, thus pushing the prices up in all of the restaurants and empowering anyone with a boat, a long stick and a stripy top to try and sleep with their passengers and charge a fortune for the privilege.
The authorities have been getting tougher on crime, and the latest misdemeanour to have a harsher penalty is illegal parking. If you leave your SRV parked in the wrong place in a settlement, the chances are that when you return, you won't find a little plastic bag under the wipers with a note from one of those patrols that just love to scan you 5 times on the same street and whisper, "Halt!" in a tiny voice in the hopes that you won't hear them and they get an excuse to use their Class 5 genital compensator to blast you. No, you won't find something on the windscreen. You'll more likely find that your windscreen is on various buildings and crates close to where you'd parked, along with bits of engine, items from your glove box, and one wheel spinning forlornly. It's the convention. This is advice that Commander Yellow Hauler would have appreciated the other day when he left his SRV on what he thought was a safe street, in what looked like a deserted settlement. He was just minding his own business, quietly looting, being a picker-up of unconsidered trifles, when there was the faintest of electronic hums. A brief zap, followed by an all-too-brief lighting up of the sky, as his SRV added to the entropy of the universe by rearranging its molecules over half the base. Luckily, Yellow Hauler was inside a building, so he didn't get instant sunburn, and it does mean that he didn't actually get to see the incident. But our money is on the new traffic warden skimmers that have become the bane of so many. Well, we can't call them pilots if they're on foot, so let's just say, if they're in the Empire, they're called Imperial Walkers. The Flying Wardens, which can easily be distinguished by the yellow band around the top, and the look of inner sadism, have been known to hide around the corner, just waiting for walkers to get out of sight before blowing up their transport. They do have the choice of calling for transport to take your SRV to the nearest compound, but they reckon that blowing them up involves less paperwork. Thanks to Apex taxis, Yellow Hauler was able to fly back to his ship with no damage to anything but his self-confidence and his bank balance. But let this be a lesson to those of you who wish to leave your SRVs with one wheel on the curb, or blocking the driveway out of the landing pad, that it always helps to keep a spare power core in your back pocket, ready just in case you need to keep the power on, and just in case the scavengers are pleased to see you. Of course, it could have been the scavengers, but we don't think they'd do anything like that.
Things in Hutton's space have settled to a more normal state since the start of Tharg Boys on the Piss, Buster Tentacle, Buster Bubble binge. You Know Where is still not in the bottom 3, we have a large bust to deal with, and our neighbour from hell is at it again in Avik. More on those stories coming up. Poor little Avik is this week's low system on the poll, struggling on 31, and reeling from 2 wars in 2 weeks, is finding itself besieged by a serious corporation yet again for the 3rd week in a row. No sooner have they fought off the minions of the rich bloke with the quiff and the nice exploration bonus than they're back at it again just 1 day after cooldown. Some folks just don't seem to get the message and must love losing, and they're currently 1 down in this latest war. Second lowest system on the poll this week is Epsilon Indy on 33%, and with no conflicts in progress or pending, now is an excellent time to boost our most popular system. A point above Indy is Ross 671 on 34. Our war is in progress, but the system is also in boom, so we should see an improvement in the week. It's become increasingly odd each week to say why Barnard's Star isn't our worst system, but it is fourth from worst on 35, recovering from the infrastructure failure afflicting it last week. Well done to those truckers who shipped in stuff to make a redonkulous profit. Bravissimo to the truckers that shipped in food supplies to bonkers in Wolf 25. It cured the famine but has left the system with a very large bust. Lend a hand, or even two, to boost the system and lift the bust. At the overachieving end of the Hutton systems table, we have only 4 systems above 60%. Snuggles is crying into his mulled wine as we expanded into La Rochelle. Priorities this week are, if you want to truck something, boost Epsilon Indy and boost Wolf 25 to relieve the bust. If you want to shoot something, fight off Sirius in Avic. Again.
This week we have 2 articles from our correspondents. Firstly, from HS 5060. Good evening, truckers. HS 5060 reporting in with this week's update from the Thargoid War. Humanity has much to celebrate as Hackswing alongside what is being called the Oyo battle group defended Munchkins. Muchihiks. Liang Huang and HIP 8525. Also good news, Mu Duges is the first system in this war to be fully restored, meaning that we've taken a major step in containing the Thargoid maelstroms. Special commendations to Commander Quadrivium Resonance for racking up 610 kills this week, and to Commander Sura who achieved 425 kills. Hackswing salutes you both for such incredible numbers and the effort you put in to defend humanity. Adding to the good news, truckers, both Galactic Community goals were completed, bringing the new gimbaled enhanced Axe multi-cannon to production for us to pew-pew the Thargoids even better. Your orders for this week, Hackswing, will be to defend Hull, Huil, HIP 11111 and Yamako near the Oya Maelstrom alongside Cannon Lab 69 and our allies alongside Cannon Lab 69 and our allies in the battle group. Combat and evac pilots will be needed to defend these systems. Good luck out there, truckers, and see you on the front lines. Follow Mog. And W. Togao is proud to present Hutton Hearth, reading 'Twas the night before Christmas. And that's a little bit late, but never mind. 'Twas the night before Christmas, when all through the fleet, all the motors were humming, an enemy to greet. The weapons retracted, the peacefulness rare, in hopes that Thargoids would shortly be there. The bridge crew were nestled all snug in their seats, while twinkles of far stars danced in their heads. And Tog in his vet and I in my chief had just settled our brains for a long winter's grief. When out in the black there arose such a roar, I sprang from the cabin and flew across the floor. Away to the cockpit I flew like a flash, strapped on my harness and ready to dash. The moon on the breast of the hard frozen ice gave the lustre of midday to objects not nice, when what to my wondering eye should appear but a monstrous interceptor with 8 arms of fear. With a little old swarm so lively and fast, I knew in a moment it might be my last. More rapid than eagles, his swarm on there came, and he roared and bellowed and doused us with flame. Now Tog, now Cappy, now Siraka and Rhino, on Exile, on Stylesy, on Dosian, on Ozzy. To the top of the planet, to the top of the dock. Now dash away, dash away, dash away, flock. as dry leaves before the wild hurricane fly. When swarm meets with an obstacle, they mount to the sky. Set up in the dock top, the Tharg swarm there flew, with the scouts full of caustic, and Cyclops went too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the comms the banging and explosions of foul caustic bombs. As I piled in my dust and was turning around, so the black mad Cyclops came with a bound. He was dressed all in caustic from one arm to t'other, and his hull was all tarnished with shot tracks and spatter. A roll of his hull and a fierce battle roar soon gave us to know we must be ready for more. It spoke not a word, but went straight to its work, and fired all its missiles, then turned with a jerk, and laying out aim just up from its beak, and giving a nod our assault it did peak. It sprung to advance, to its swarm gave a roar, and our ghost cannon spoke to show beast the door. As it died in a blaze of caustic it moaned, ere fading from sight, we say Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
I thought you deserved a cheer there, Flossy. You started.
Thank you.
You were making out that you were ill. You couldn't do anything. Oh no, I can't breathe. I'm coughing all the place. Once you get the bit between your teeth, then you don't stop. Oh, now you see you're going for sympathy now.
You're making me cough. I'm making me laugh.
Look, the two of you with that. The two of you with that noise and the other two. You fuck off.
Somebody
Yes.
shoot that bird. Sounds
Well
Have
done,
fun editing
Helen.
this
Well
one
done.
later.
Sounds like a cockatoo.
No, just the one.
Good evening,
dear.
everyone. Well done. That was only a seam or all the seams in that were entirely my fault. So yes,
And they'll be fine in the edit.
Yeah, absolutely. But now I've got to edit out the bit that says it'll be fine in the edit because it won't seem seamless now. Oh,
It'll be
bugger.
fine
You've
in
got
the
to
edit.
edit in the bits you missed as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll be fine in the edit, though. It'll be fine in the edit, won't it?
Oh,
It will be fine
Yeah.
in the edit.
Yeah, I'll be
was-
fine in the edit.
Last time I bollocks it up, I did. It was fine.
Yeah, well,
It'll be
you
fun.
know.
In the edit.
I'll be
And
fine in
it should
the
be,
edit.
should be finished and ready to publish by Tuesday, Wednesday,
Yeah.
Thursday.
It'll be next
Yeah, we
Friday?
never said what month. though,
Next
did
week
we?
at the latest.
I'm hoping it'll be this year.
Give us a month.
Month. No, sorry. It's not one of those chants. No, sorry. What?
Yeah, we're in one of those weird states where this week, this month, and this year are all the same thing.
Oh.
This is the last show of the year.
It is the last
Yep.
show of the year.
Yeah, it is.
It's the
Last show of the
last
month as
show.
The last show of the year. Sorry.
That's still not an excuse for that. I'm sorry.
Well, that killed the conversation.
It's the last show of today.
No, there might be
It's the
another one
only
along
show
later.
of today.
Yeah.
We hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hello, everyone. How's the devil has everybody been? How did they survive over Christmas and Missimus?
Well, by falling asleep in the armchair and
The
farting and blaming
usual
it on
way.
the dog. I've got a dog.
Yeah, the usual way. Gratuitous amounts of alcohol.
Must be done.
Lovely brisk walk on the beach with the dogs.
Best thing is to
And
blame
then
it on
home
next
for
door's
food.
dog.
Yeah. Everybody's grateful. The dog's grateful. They're
You can smell
grateful. And
farts
you're
from next
grateful.
door. It must be. Anyway, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, God. So,
that one sounded like a drum.
Clever.
So, anyone see the live stream?
nope.
Okay.
Okay.
There wasn't one, was there?
Wasn't one.
No, there wasn't one. That's why nobody saw it.
If you'd watched the last one,
Next one is it 12th of January something or 19th?
it's
19th of January, yeah.
well, if you'd watched the last one where Arf was, oh my God, surprised.
The Shatner
Yes.
pants. He was wearing the Shatner pants, wasn't he? Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
Yeah, they said it would be well into the new year. As Flossy just said, it's the 19th.
And
So,
their
so we're going to
their
have to
Twitch
wing
dro-
it for 3 more weeks.
Well, their Twitch drops finished, as did ours yesterday. So not that it did any good because we weren't broadcasting yesterday, but yes.
They only work on a day with 1 to 28 in them. So we are 29. So February should be all right.
Yeah.
So they're resetting them on the 1st of each month rather than the day after the previous set fall over.
I think the answer is yes. I don't really
I
understand
think
the
the
question.
answer to that's yes. I'm not entirely sure myself.
So
I'm sure they'll explain.
we all like heavenly bodies, don't we?
Yes.
Mostly.
Yeah.
Do we like standing outside in the cold looking at heavenly bodies?
Oh,
Less.
do we?
Well,
If they kept
Not,
the curtains
not
open,
since
yes.
she took out that restraining order.
there's Mrs. Simpson down the road at the newsagents, particularly. Anyway, so tonight, did you see the family of planets? The family gathering tonight? No? Yes? No?
No, I live in
No.
Scotland.
Cloudy.
The
Radio,
sky
I
was
can't tell.
covered in cloud.
We had a few brief gaps in the cloud. I saw Mars and Jupiter,
Oh, nice.
Oh, Mars, I can see it. What?
and I saw Venus, but not at the same time. And Mercury, I've never seen.
You see
Yeah,
Uranus?
Mercury's tough. Mercury is really tough.
You know,
Yeah.
Patrick Moore. You know, remember him? Patrick Moore?
Yeah. Games
He
Master.
swears he never saw Mercury. He said, "I've never seen it."
It's plausible.
Plausible.
I've never seen it.
You have to really set out to try for Mercury and have a little bit of luck on your side and be at the right time of...
Did you manage to get a glimpse of
time.
Uranus?
Yeah, try to avoid that one over Christmas. It's not a pretty sight.
You have to be quite flexible for that one.
You need binoculars, really.
Yeah,
Well, yeah.
or something.
And
Or an endoscope.
Neptune.
Or a mirror.
Tonight.
Get a mirror.
Tonight. And night shift can look away now. But tonight was the last time you will be able to see Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune in one view.
This year?
Same time for 18 years.
Well, that's
think-
not that long.
Well, hopefully in 18 years it'll
Well,
be...
it depends how
it'll
old
be-
you are, really.
Hopefully in 18 years it'll be a clear night. We'll get to see it.
Yeah.
I'll have to figure out what the date is.
Better luck
because-
next time, planets.
Yeah, 29th of December, and with a westerly coming off the Atlantic. Yeah, right. Anyway,
But yeah, up in Scotland, all you're really going to see is clouds over Uranus.
Yeah. A cloudy, yeah.
yes.
Unless, of course, it's all cleared up.
Do you remember what happened last Christmas?
Oh no, Cousin actually worked it out. He's
Yeah, I
cracked it.
remember. I gave you my heart, but the very next day you gave it away.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah.
What are you going to do this year?
Why I thought I better get in. Yeah, what are you going to do this year, Amelia?
Well, it's just cobbled together from cracker jokes. Yeah.
I'm going to give it to someone special.
Oh, that's nice.
Well, what
Special.
happened? What happened last Christmas? Apart from giving away all those hearts and
3, 2, 1.
Was there a
Who's got
launch?
the matches? Light the rocket.
yeah, do you remember that? What was that?
I do.
It was Christmas morning last year that
It was
Just Wonderful Space Telescope went up.
Oh,
Yes,
so it was.
the telescope that should not be named due to the attitudes of the person it's named after. That's the one.
Or the attitudes of the current.
Oh, is that the James Webb Telescope?
Yes,
That's
Yeah.
the one.
Yeah.
Yes, the current vintage attitudes. Yeah, James Webb went up a year ago. It's been like, poof, that was quick.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember all that thing? Yeah, it was like Christmas Day, wasn't it?
And
Yeah, it was.
And there was lots of worry. Will it get up? And then will it?
how far do you reckon this? I mean, I know it's only got, what is it? You get, what do you get on a roll of film? It's like 36. Do you think they've how many shots have they used? We've seen like
I've
3,
seen at
haven't
least
we?
7 or 8.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So they're
A
like,
couple of them were double exposed though. So.
but they're like a third the way through the roll of film now. So unless they didn't wind it on properly at the beginning, and you might get like 30, 37.
And then they'll need to bring it
sometimes
back.
even 39 if they
They
were a
need to
bit
send the
generous
whole.
when they
They need. Yeah. but
put
you
it in the
can't-
canister.
You can't take it out. You can't take the film out, or you'll.
Oh, they can. It's dark up there.
Yeah, but
Ah.
can they not just? have they got to take the whole thing into like Super Snaps or somewhere? Or
Well, no, it's like
Jessup's still do film, don't they?
it's
Yeah,
like
they do.
the
Yeah, you can take the whole thing into Jessup's.
Jessup's. It's like the princess sitting outside Boots, sobbing.
Oops.
No, Boots.
Someday my
Oops.
prince will come.
Kesnick was right.
Boop, boop, boop.
Yeah, the old ones are the oldest.
Yes.
Anyway, what week is it this week?
Tuesday.
This week.
It's Green Room Week.
Oh,
Oh.
Yes.
it's not just the last show of the month; it's the last show of the last month. So it makes it the last. It's the last. It's the last.
the last
show,
Green Room
it's
of
the last
the
show
year, isn't
today,
it?
I think.
Is it the last
The
Green
last-
Room of the year?
Last chance saloon.
We hope so.
Yeah, last chance saloon.
We really hope so.
I know you've warned me before.
Yes.
Anyway, so what do people have to do?
But I would suggest they go and get a copy of TeamSpeak and then do something with it. I don't know what to do with it. What do they do with it?
Oh, what's the server? Is it hot.forthemug.com?
No, smack.
No.
Nope.
No.
No?
Oh,
Tut,
What's
tut,
it
tut.
then?
No.
Yes.
Is it ts.forthemug.com?
Mug.com.
Oh, right. Yeah,
Seamless.
got that perfectly now. Yes.
Yeah. Because it's not a website, is it?
No.
No, what is
It's
it?
a TeamSpeak server.
It's a TeamSpeak server.
And Border Reaver Jackman and retired Navy IT1 have already worked that out, and they are lurking.
Yeah,
Ooh, all the lurk.
Oh, lurking. That's a good word.
Mm.
I like
We'll
lurkers.
give everybody warning at the end if they want to move off of Twitch and move into TeamSpeak, so that they can talk
Or
to
if
us.
you just want to move off the Twitch.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
to,
we'll
be,
keep-
yeah.
to be fair, they're hedging the bets, aren't they? Because Border Reaver, Jackman, and retired Navy IT, they're actually different rooms.
yes.
Different green rooms. So
Oh,
Yeah, there's noisy rooms and
Oh,
quiet
oh,
rooms.
they were all moving cards. Yeah, all right.
they're all going now, Bellwind Dark. It's
Yes.
not for a while yet. It's not for a
Yeah.
while. About 40
You must
minutes
all the
at
good
least
stuff.
is my guess.
They're multiplying.
Yeah,
no
don't
wonder they got
listen,
They're
everything.
don't listen to
lurking.
both
Let 'em
audio streams
lurk.
simultaneously. That will confuse even more
They've
than
got chills
usual.
too.
Yeah. Moving
Are
on.
they multiplying?
Moving on. Right.
Oh, I tell.
Yeah, you've got some buttons to press.
I got to press
haven't
some
you?
buttons press. Let's see if this works. Well, in case you haven't spotted it on Twitcher Armor or GalTube or something, one of our very favourite artists, I wouldn't say very favourite because that makes everybody else upset, doesn't it, Draxer? Everybody else, one of our very most favouriteest artists, Beetlejude, the other half of Beetlejude and Wotherspoon. The one that isn't Wotherspoon, that is.
Yeah,
She
guess
is-
what shaft
yeah.
she is, yeah.
Yes, yeah. It's a clue. She did an advent calendar. Not one of those
haven't
ones with a
seen
bit of
this.
chocolate behind.
Ah, I was looking
Fucking
forward to the
just love that
chocolate.
I like
Yeah.
chocolate.
Yeah, I had
Yeah, me too.
I won an advent calendar, and it actually had a little jar of spice mix behind every single one. I got 24 jars of completely different spice mixes. Some to go with banana bread, some to go with coffee, some very strange things, but it's quite nice. Anyway, I digress.
Well,
of
we had
course.
one with
Have
beers.
you have you seen the Eton advent calendar? It's like an ordinary advent calendar, but all the doors are opened by your daddy's friends.
Yes. I've got a button for vomiting. Sorry, I'll just have to do it live. Anyway, so here we go. Look, if I put that on, that should work. So I'm working through each day from the first. Let's do this. And obviously, because of the way that Twitch works, you'll be seeing this a few seconds behind.
Ooh.
They're all absolutely
Pretty.
brilliant.
Ooh, look at that one.
Ooh.
I stole these from her Twitch. Not Twitch. From her,
Oh, Commander Jameson's.
Nice.
Of course, all of our reactions on the audio stream are
Yeah,
going to be
yeah,
out of
completely
sync
out
with the
of
video
sync
on the
with
stream.
the-
So.
Just keep oohing and ahhing.
They're all brilliant. So just so it'd be
Ooh.
Oh, that's a
fun.
nice one.
Yummy
Yeah.
noises.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he's legless.
Oh,
Is that
seven.
Legolas?
Yeah.
There's a Starglide in
I like
there.
that one.
That's a scary looking one,
Oh,
isn't it?
that is scary.
Oh, look at the green one. Look at the green.
Yeah. Hey, this is going to be great fun for you to edit. See if you can
That's
shift us back about 10 seconds and it'll
Oh,
be
look
better.
at the brown one.
Oh, look, that's very, very comic.
No,
strip.
that was Mia.
It's been trying to organise this, yes.
Oh, it's
It's the
smashed
bat
eagle,
signal.
Look, it's a smashed eagle.
It's the bat signal.
It's
Is that Hutton? Could it be Hutton?
It's
No,
the
it's not
eagle.
Hutton.
Could
It's the
be,
wrong
could
shape.
be.
here we go.
It's the wrong shape.
That's
I
definitely
can't. Can anybody count? I don't know
Oh,
where I'm up to.
that's the space
there's-
cactus things with
oh,
the holes in
there's
them.
one
Space
here that-
waffles.
There's one coming up that looks to me like a front
It's
cover
like-
of a
that's-
1950s space
Oh, look at
sci-fi.
those.
Look at that.
Oh, wow.
1950s sci-fi.
That is awesome. Yeah, but it's quite a good rendition of the Guardian
Yeah, the Sentinels.
Sentinels.
Yeah.
And there's one. There's
Love
another
the
one.
arch in the background.
One in Los Angeles coming up in a couple. Moving on.
Oh, look at that. It's the Los Angeles one
Oh, the fancy.
with the
Yeah,
space
Oh,
sure-
not more
cactus.
I'm pretty
pictures
sure that's
from
one of
Los
David's
Angeles.
holiday photos.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the dredger.
And she did these every day. It's absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
Oh, I could touch the star.
It's
And
the
I
cosmic
think-
parrot.
Yes, this one is the last one.
Oh,
I'll wait for it to
Christmas
catch
paint
up.
job.
Yeah.
That
And
looks like a
Oh yeah,
picture of my Christmas.
as a little treat,
yeah. Let's pass back to the start.
what Jude also did was a video sped up of her drawing each one. And I thought it would be nice just to see one of them. So this is from the 24th, and this is about 3.5 minutes. If anybody needs to go for a wee.
Hello there. Today's
What a
Christmas
bag.
Eve. Christmas Eve. I'm probably really busy wrapping presents right now. I'm panicking about making food and things. But right now, a day or two before, I am not. I am enjoying thinking about computer games. And this is my last advent calendar window and my last picture. And it's a Thargoid destroyed megaship. We're seeing an awful lot of things destroyed by Thargoids. We're seeing a lot of this greenish cloud at the moment. The recent game developments have led to these 8 maelstroms. The maelstroms are great big swirling gas clouds with, we assume, a mega powerful Thargoid hive ship at the centre, surrounded by lots of Thargoid ships. Although we're not sure, we don't know. But yeah, there's 8 of these centre points of the Thargoid invasion. And the 8 strongholds have all got like 30 odd systems that they've attacked surrounding them. So you've got several different system states. You've got the alert system, where you'll see the non-human signal sources in the system, and you'll sometimes see an Orthrus. And your Thargoid signal sources, they have different levels. Level 1, you might see some, I don't know, gas cloud and wreckage and perhaps one scout or something, and it goes all the way up through the levels until you can expect to see maybe even a Hydra, which is the really boss Thargoid interceptor, and a few scouts and maybe a Medusa or a Basilisk in there. Really, really very deadly right up there. But you got a level 4, and in these alert systems, the level 4 non-human signal source can have an Orthrus in it. Its role is to get information about systems and to prepare it for attack by the Thargoids. So people are focusing on these systems and shooting down these Orthruses. The Orthruses have seeded these systems with little Thargoid sensors, which are weird little wibbly nuggety things, and it'll collect those. And you can drop into these signal sources and see it collecting those little sensors to take back its information to Thargoid High Command or whatever. You've also got the invasion systems and the controlled systems where we've lost the battle. Presently, as I'm talking now, the Thargoids are in control of 208 solar systems. This is not good. This is quite a lot. They're in the process of invading 59 at the moment, but they control 208. That's a lot of places where people can't live now, and quite a few of those systems need people evacuating from. So it's very, very busy at the moment in the galaxy. We have one system at the moment that has been recovered from the Thargoids, so yay us, go us. We'll get there. There's some very skilled people with their shooty cannons out there, and they know what they're doing. I should probably mention about the picture. It's big. there. It's big. It's a canvas, a bit of painting, which I quite enjoy, and it's been hanging around for ages, and I keep meaning to finish. And I thought, do you know what? I'll try and get this done. I like this one because the light is shining through the destroyed habitation rings of the megaship, and it casts its own shadow, and it just looks spectacular. I think this screenshot did. So I thought I would copy that, and I enjoyed it very much. So thank you for watching, and I will probably do more pictures at some point in the new year. Thank you. Bye.
And that was good, wasn't it? Brilliant.
Oh, that was good, yeah.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
Enjoyed that.
And I couldn't tell what it was until the end.
Well, I did
No,
ask
I
you
was-
if you could. No, I didn't ask you if you could tell what it was yet.
Yeah, just no, don't.
Not
Yeah,
funny.
don't go there.
No.
Too soon. Too soon.
Actually, if you get it at the edges and just kind of flip it up and down a wee bit, it dries quicker.
It's true of so many things.
Give it a bit of a wobble.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, I actually do have a thing from Volcarius here, which I haven't been looking at, so bear with me.
If there's a bear with you, I'm not surprised you're not looking at the email.
yeah.
I'd
I'd be looking at the bear and backing away carefully.
Just keep talking while I see if I can make this work. Hang on.
So, Flossy, too hot, too messy. Do we have a winner this week? Who's won a mug?
Yes, the mug winner is Flattened 6 Gravy.
Hang on, you have to wait after the drum roll.
Flattened,
Topic.
Flattened 6 Gravy 2.
Drum roll.
Flat and gravy. There we go.
Ah, yes, love that.
Right, I'm just experimenting with. This may or may not work. This may or may not be an entire seam. Oh, it's working, but of course we don't have any sound
Of
Why
course.
not? Why not?
because it's only a browser, and I don't know. Oh, hang on.
Hit the unmute button. Ooh, it's a video.
Oh, hello.
Have we got a video?
Have we got a video?
Is it beta, Max?
Showing your age there.
The young ones, wasn't it?
Yeah. Episode called Video Nasty, I think.
Hmm.
It's all got
No, it
quiet
is
in
gone,
the
but-
studio.
Oh,
Too quiet, says
I could try downloading it and put it on later, but
We should have somebody talk us through what's happening.
Somebody might be
Let's
talking
just
you
tag
through what's happening.
Volcarius in here and get him to narrate it.
yeah, but he's going to be. Well, I suppose he'd be watching it. He can narrate it at the speed that he'll see it, but not at the speed everybody else should see it. And not at the speed I'll see it. And if he's
But
doing
he
it in
could
2
narrate it 15 seconds in the future.
It's more fun for the editing.
We'll have to apply a temporal adjustment.
yeah, so
But just a temporary temporal adjustment.
just
Yeah.
something to your temple.
Not a permanent temporal adjustment, just a temporary temporal adjustment.
Yeah.
Let me just see what happens.
He's making a mess of that authoress.
Yeah, there's a lot of smoke coming off of that, isn't there?
It's bad
Well,
for
that
its health
smells like-
smoking like that.
Certainly hasn't stunted its growth.
It hasn't got a
Well, they are only little.
Keep talking.
Oh, jings.
We're enthralled. Oh, we didn't see it pop.
I'm downloading it, but I don't know since I don't have super
And he's
speed.
buggered off. There we go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, that was fun.
Yeah, absolutely. That was good.
Well, apart from the flower guy.
Hang on,
Yeah.
let's see. If
Yeah,
that's
it's not meant to be fun for flowers, though.
my download is finished. Hang on, bear with. I can do this. I can do this.
Now you've got
Honest.
to bear with it.
Get rid of that.
Yeah, I began with what?
Possibly the beaver from the earlier article.
Yeah, very possibly.
And here we go. This would. Where the hell it's gone? There we go. And Ping.
Bong.
You hear something?
Ooh, sound.
Fancy.
Mm.
Oh, there we are. I've seen the video now as well.
No, since you've seen it, you should know what's coming up. I want you to tell me what comes next.
Bits
a big
fall off it.
spaceshipy thing and lots of lasers. Not lasers, in it? Oh, fuel neutralizers.
Volcarius is saying Cutter couldn't turn fast enough to see the actual pop.
Ah.
Yeah. Well, that's disappointing. I'll have to do it again.
Pop goes the Thargoid.
I love the noise of them.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the
As
sound
with
design
most
is
of the
really
rest of the
good.
games, the soundscape of this game is incredible.
So,
They do sound just the way you'd expect an angry flower to sound, don't they?
now, obviously,
Something like
Volcarius,
that, yeah.
Volcarius, as teammate to Alex Zuno, really should know what they're talking about. So, I'm going to read out what it's got here. The Authoress is a damage sprint to destroy it before it wakes out after a minute or so. It also wrecks Guardian modules, so that stops most AX builds, or at best requires a wing to do it. Actually, all you need is an Imperial Cutter, the new EAX missiles 4-pitch to assist, and a boost button. Colliding with it helps remove the shield, and the missiles can hit the shield and hull. Exit strategy is just one shield cell to burn the caustic away at about 120% heat, same as the scout missiles. It needs some refinement and maybe adapting to use a more accessible ship. That was my second kill that way, more smooth than the first, but you can see that wasn't expecting to have a force field that could push back a cutter from a head-on collision.
It's dead.
And there it goes.
Bye!
Toxic cloud. That must be the Christmas Day sprouts.
Yes.
There we go.
Releasing its Christmas fragrance.
Yes. Lovely. So, I've got to work out.
I can just imagine some guy at Frontier, the sound guy. Angry flower, nailed it.
Yeah. I have nailed the sound for angry flower.
There we go. Well done, everybody. Do we have anything else?
Just one thing. Who loves hamburgers, French fries, and ants?
Me, and not
the
me.
night shift.
Ronald McArdvark.
Not me.
We're really scraping the bottom of the barrel.
Yeah,
now,
we're
aren't
really
we?
scraping the bottom of it. Anyway, Aardvark! Aardvark!
And now, the point that everyone is waiting for. Coffee Flossy and the CG News.
Is that the new background?
Was that coffee?
It's your week off.
It's Flossy. It's Flossy. It's Flossy. And the community goes.
Hello, it's Flossy here with this week's Community Goals News. Last week's continuing CGs have now both completed and all the new weapons are now on sale at all of the rescue ships. There are now no new CGs until next year. And that's it for this week's CG News.
Flossy told you what to do.
And now it's over to Beetlejude and Witherspoon with the Galnet News Digest Review of the Year, Part 1.
Maybe.
Seamless.
Psst. Sure.
As soon as I get my button in place, I will move to where the bleeding hell I put it. Hang on. Oh, it's here.
Seamless.
It's here.
Seamless.
I did only do this 5 minutes before the show, so here we go. This.
You should have remembered where you put it then.
Yeah, I know, but at my age, this is the first part of Beetlejude and Witherspoon's roundup of the year's news. Here we go. No,
Yeah,
You
that was
come
so
after-
long ago, everybody's forgotten now.
Oh, yeah.
No, come on to that. Yeah.
Finished your language. It's
The year 3308 can be split into roughly equal halves. The time before the Proteus wave and the time after. During the latter half of the year, we were tracking Stargoids, wondering what they were and what they might be wanting. But the first part of the year was a time of hope, with Salvation planning the total destruction of the Thargoids.
The start of 3308 could not have been more different than the previous year. In order to understand the events of 3308, it's necessary to briefly recap the events of the preceding months. 3307 began with a massive invasion of Thargoids in the Coalsack and Witchhead nebulas, for which humanity had been poorly prepared. It wasn't until April 3307, after Alliance Prime Minister Edmund Munn had failed to gain support for the proper funding of the Tri-Superpower Xeno Research and Defence Agency Aegis, that a potential saviour emerged. Throughout the rest of 3307, this mysterious scientist, who called himself Salvation, researched hybrid technology based on the extinct Guardian civilization, which had been developed and lost 200 years ago by researchers working for a company called Azimuth Biochemicals. By the end of the year, he'd used the superweapon, first in the Cornsar system, and then again in 3 systems in the Pleiades. Meanwhile, his rival Aegis had been suspended, with its military leader, Admiral Aidan Tanner, undergoing court-martial for using unauthorized force to attempt to find out more about Salvation, who some suspected of using unethical, possibly illegal technologies and methods. As Salvation proclaimed at the time, Aegis was finished, and Salvation was the only remaining defence for humanity.
The start of 3308, then, saw Salvation as humanity's only remaining option to hold back the Thargoids. Despite the mystery surrounding his identity and his methods, he had the backing of the leaders of all 3 superpowers. There weren't actually very many Thargoid invasions. An impartial observer might have questioned whether humanity needed a saviour. In February, HIP 12314, Dan and Nauni saw a short-lived invasion by Thargoids, and at the end of April, the Didio, Novus and Sosong systems came under attack. Salvation didn't intervene in the February attacks, instead choosing to conduct research and preparation work. During March, his faction, Taurus Mining Ventures, created a bizarre fake appeal for mined material from one of the Guardian systems as a cover for an appeal to collect as many Guardian artefacts as possible. These artefacts powered Salvation's superweapon, and early in May he once again deployed the weapon to destroy the Thargoid vessels in Didio, Novus and Sosong. What was not widely known is that Salvation had lured the Thargoids into these systems by seeding them with Guardian materials, which the Thargoids have a natural dislike for. Salvation was deliberately and callously creating the problem he wanted backing from the superpowers to solve, and he did receive the backing he sought. The superpowers and Sirius Corporation all provided manpower and ships to help Salvation on his quest to fight off the Thargoids.
At the end of May, emboldened by his earlier successes and by the backing he'd received, Salvation embarked upon the development of a further revision of his superweapon, a weapon powerful enough to drive the Thargoids away forever. In June, following the discovery of evidence at the wreck of the Aegis megaship Alexandria, and at a 150-year-old INRA site, Salvation revealed that he was the Witch, the character that had conducted experiments on humans and Thargoid ships 4 years earlier to try to harness Thargoid technology, and that his faction, Taurus Mining Ventures, was in fact the research wing of Azimuth Biochemicals. He further admitted that he'd been involved in the INRA attempt to destroy the Thargoids using mycoid virus 150 years ago. It became clear that he was motivated by an irrational hatred of everything Thargoid, and that he had no compunction in causing widespread human suffering and death in order to fulfill his aim of wiping the Thargoids off the face of the galaxy. Despite this, the superpowers, who by this time had little other choice, continued to back Salvation and Taurus Mining Ventures, which was renamed as Azimuth Biotech. Salvation's plan was to build a huge version of his superweapon in one of the old Azimuth systems, HIP 22460. He named the weapon the Proteus Wave, after the Azimuth Biochemicals anaconda of that name, because its crew had been the first to harness Guardian technology. By gathering huge quantities of Guardian technology in the system, he could both power the weapon and ensure that a lot of Thargoid vessels would be present.
Throughout June and July, Salvation demanded ever greater amounts of Guardian technology to be delivered to HIP 22460. He also demanded the superpowers deploy their militaries to defend Azimuth operations from the increasing number of Thargoid vessels arriving in the system. HIP 22460 became a hive of industry and a battleground, with thousands of combat ships fighting and hundreds of ships hauling in Guardian artifacts. Salvation's new version of the Proteus Wave was hooked up to a Thargoid surface site. These mysterious sites are believed by some to be crashed Thargoid hive ships. Salvation's intention was to amplify the power of the tuned electromagnetic pulse to disable or destroy more Thargoid craft than ever before, dealing such a blow to the Thargoid fleet that they would be forced to withdraw completely and irrevocably from human space. On the 8th of August, Azimuth Commodore Morag Halloran broadcast a statement from Salvation proclaiming that the following day, August the 9th, would be Doomsday for the Thargoid species.
On the 9th of August, the Proteus Wave was finally activated. For the first few seconds, it appeared that it had been successful. With Thargoid ships in the system disabled, the celebrations broadcast across the galaxy began. But only a few seconds later, it all went horribly wrong. A second massive pulse from the Thargoid surface site and the Proteus Wave weapon somehow reversed the effect of the first pulse. Thargoid ships came back to life, while all human ships in the system were temporarily disabled. The Thargoids, seemingly enraged by what had just happened, took their revenge on ships in the system, both Azimuth megaships, all the Alliance Imperial and Federal capital ships, and a large number of the smaller vessels were destroyed in the near-total massacre. HIP 22460 became, and remains, a Thargoid system. The Thargoids seem to have assimilated the power of the Proteus Wave weapon and can turn it back on vessels that have Guardian components, rendering those components useless. The system is patrolled by Thargoid vessels that will drop on any human ships brave or foolish enough to venture into the system and will attack without mercy. And the Thargoids in the system made some sort of roar that's believed to have been a communication that received a response from some distant location, and that may have been the trigger for what happened later in the year. Salvation is believed to have been killed in the massacre of HIP 22460, but Azimuth, under its new CEO Torben Rademacher, continues to dream of being an effective manufacturer of anti-xenotechnology. But its legacy, what it and Salvation had unleashed, would only become apparent some months later, when strange moving lights were identified, moving rapidly towards the human-occupied bubble.
Thank you, Commanders Beetlejuice and Waterspoon. I think that now it's time for the Hutton Helper results. So, over to Mia.
Welcome to the Hutton Helper results. The Hutton Helper results are sponsored by the Hutton Helper, the only third-party resource to come with a free treasure map with a big X on it. This week we have the following events: the How the Hell Did I Get Here Drunk Mystery Shield, the Enigma Wrapped in a Mystery Wrapped in Delicious Puff Pastry Cup Winner's Cup, the Where Did the Delivery Company Leave My Package This Time Deja Vu Trophy, the Winking at This Is Why You're Banned from Galweb Trophy, the Sherlock Holmes Couldn't Solve the Oh wait, it's just an anagram Charity Shield, and the one that says Wrecked Ship Poirot Extravaganza. So, always check the numbers are going the right way, never chase meteor on Tolo, and if a guy with a peg leg and a pirate hat calls you Jim Lad, shoot him in the face immediately. It's for the best. The Hutton Helper results are: Sky Space jumped 35,000 light years to come first in distance travelled. Quadrivium Resonance sold 50,000 tonnes of cargo. Montgomery Python is top mission runner with 410 mission points. Alex Zuno handed in 1,003,309 credits worth of bounties this week. Epaphras handed in 1.5 billion credits of combat bonds. Mark Zantius delivered 3,411 people to their various destinations. Decals this week for Skyspace: Red Ass Toms for systems visited, Darkness CS101 for Own Mind. Please email itookpart@huttonorbital.com and arrange to collect your Hutton decal kit, which this week consists of an envelope marked Clue, a deer stalker, and a nondescript box with a big question mark on it. There have been 15 Hutton runs in the last 7 days. The top 5 are Interstellar Foxy with 1 hour 23 minutes and 51 seconds, Norbert Paternoid with 1 hour 24 minutes dead, Palantir with 1 hour 24 minutes and 17 seconds, Pitstopper 1 hour 24 minutes and 31 seconds, and Wolfgang 101010 with 1 hour 25 minutes and 10 seconds. Wow, Commander Palantir. So the specials are still discounted at Wonders then, that's good to know. There is a whole galaxy of stuff out there needing rung in, first footed, decked with boughs of holly, evacuated unfriended, ejected manhandled or woman handled, smeared, deflected, irrigated, emphasised, sniffed, snuffled, postponed, hidden from, flip-flopped, mistranslated to and from Spanish, chilled, mugged, gin wrapped up with a pretty bow, shipped short, rescued, having their immersion ruined, battered and deep fried, repaired, destroyed, bought, sold, squeezed, inflated, burnt, frozen, liquidated, evaporated, smelled, licked, sucked, nibbled, discombobulated, recombobulated, headbutted, rubbed, compressed, enveloped, strained, fermented, murderized with an S, interrobanged, upcycled, violently downcycled, disallowed, reallowed after consulting VAR, smelted, frozen to the bones, loved, adored, cherished and probinated. And you can earn yourself a very fetching Hutton decal for doing it. To get involved, you just have to go to hot.forthemug.com and download or sign up for the spectacular Hutton Helper, available in 3 festive formats. Let's face it, anything has to be better than accidentally solving a strange puzzle box and having weird demon things drag you off. Anyway, that's it for this week. Back to Studio 5.
Thank you, Mia. Now for the conclusion of the Galnet News Digest of 3308.
We've heard the events leading up to the firing of the Proteus wave, and we've heard of the other events of the first part of 3308. The now seemingly trivial squabbling within Empire, Federation and Alliance, From August onwards, all anyone was thinking about was the Stargoids. What they were, where they were heading, and what did they want. We were to find out soon enough.
Three weeks after the Proteus wave was fired in HIP 22460, a strange distant light was noticed moving across the starfield. It was initially a dull orange glow, but as closer observation became possible, the light took on a distinct shape, with an orange-yellow centre radiating a helix of green and blue. As the weeks passed, it became clear that this object was moving purposefully from star to star, making its way towards the core human systems in the area we know of as the bubble. And more of the stars were identified, also closing in on the bubble. By the 23rd of October, there were 8 of these rogue signal sources, or Stargoids as they were dubbed. They moved at erratic speeds, but their direction was clear. The sounds they gave off, audible in the full-spectrum scanner, gave little doubt that the Stargoids were Thargoid in origin. But what were they? And what was their intention?
Despite Salvation's successes in having Aegis sidelined and eventually shut down, the remnants of the organisation remained active, centred around its former head of research, Professor Albert Tesreau, and the Thargoid and Guardian specialists Ishmael Palin and Ram Tar. Commanders had discovered, soon after the Proteus wave was fired, that all active Thargoid structures now processed Guardian relics into something different. Green, glowing crystals, provisionally known as unclassified relics. Their theory was that the Proteus wave had somehow become assimilated into the Thargoid hive mind, and that the Thargoids had somehow become better able to cope with the threat of Guardian technology. They appealed for as many samples of these new unclassified relics as possible, and also arranged for increased payouts for xenobiological scans, in the expectation that they can use this knowledge to develop better defences against the Thargoids. Professor Tesreau was able to take into her care the only known survivor of Azimuth's terrible experiments to splice human test subjects into Thargoid scouts in 3303. Xiaojin I, known to Azimuth as D2, had been implanted with technology that gave us some insight into Thargoid communication and the Thargoid hive mind. She explained to Tesreau that the Thargoid roar heard on the 9th of August was a call and a response, with the response roughly translated as, "We see them. We are coming." And the former Azimuth test subject explained that this was not a good thing, and that she was certain the Thargoids had decided to take action against humanity. Professors Palin and Tesreau concluded that the second Thargoid war was about to enter a new, potentially far more intense phase. The Aegis statement was criticised for being needlessly alarmist. Markets weakened, there were protest rallies. The superpowers seemed unwilling to take any decisive action to prepare, with the Empire refusing to cooperate with the Federation and Alliance. There were a few small-scale skirmishes when Thargoids entered several peripheral systems, but the Thargoids left again a week later without attempting to damage any starports. It is now believed that these Thargoids were gathering, waiting for the so-called Stargoids to arrive.
The Thargod cult, which believes that the Thargoids are the angels of the apocalyptic death god known as the Thargod, were a victim of the unrest in federal systems in particular. As happened before in 3304, they were accused of being Thargoid spies and were driven out by mobs with the active support and participation of the federal security forces. They remain in hiding aboard their megaships, the Perdition and the Testament. A different response to the coming of the Stargoids was the Thargoid Advocacy Project. This grassroots movement said that war with the Thargoids was pointless, and that if we could all sit down and talk over our differences, we could sort it all out, without anyone having to die. Opportunist federal politician Dalton Chase helped fund a peace megaship that would attempt to contact the first Stargoid. He was unfortunately unable to travel the peace mission himself, as were the vocal social media proponents of the movement. On the 24th of November, the peace megaship Kingfisher was destroyed, and everyone on board was killed by a fleet of Thargoid interceptors that had been following the first Stargoid, Tyrannus. If it had not been clear before, there was now no doubt left that the Thargoids were not open to peace overtures and that something terrible was about to happen.
A few days later, on the 29th of November, the first of the 8 Stargoids, Tyrannus, dropped into orbit around an ammonia world in the Hyades sector FB-N B7-6 system. At that moment of arrival, everything changed. Thargoids took over that system and a number of the surrounding systems and displayed a level of aggression more intense even than they had shown in HIP 22460. They intercepted and attacked ships in the area, pulling them out of hyperspace and, for the first time, from supercruise. They attacked and destroyed stations. For the first time, their targets included not only starports, but outposts and planetary bases. They ignored settlements, but the settlements were quickly abandoned by humanity in any case. For the first time, Thargoids were seen attacking human starports and other assets close up. In the following 2 weeks, the remaining 7 Stargoids arrived and took control of other clusters of systems on the edge of the bubble. They became maelstroms, a cloaking cloud of brown toxic gases, hiding whatever huge devices the Thargoids have brought as their forward attack bases. It has not yet been possible to penetrate far into the clouds, but there's some hope that as technology develops, we may be able to peer inwards and to understand what it is we face, what we need to defeat to drive the Thargoids out of the bubble. There are systems fully under Thargoid control. These can be won back, but it is likely to be hard. There are systems under invasion where we must fight to drive the Thargoids back before they can take control. There are systems in an alert state where the Thargoids are using probes and sensors to check out the system before launching an invasion. If we destroy the Orthros interceptors before they can collect their sensors, we know we can prevent the attacks from ever taking place.
Humanity has responded in a more united way than ever before. Rescue ships with medical facilities have been stationed at a safe distance from the invasions to process those evacuated from the attacked systems. These rescue ships are also stocking a range of enhanced versions of the original Aegis anti-Xeno weaponry developed by Liz Ryder and Zachariah Nemo, so that almost anyone can get involved in trying to contain the Thargoids. We're still learning the rules of this new anti-Thargoid warfare. We should know within the first few months of 3309 whether we have a chance of keeping the Thargoids within their current boundaries. But to defeat the Maelstroms and eliminate the Thargoid presence completely, we'll need new technology and probably to learn some new tricks as well.
Once again, we've asked Amelia to go back and have another crack at one of her favourite Galnet Rares Digest episodes. She said she fancied a tickle, so here's one that tickled her fancy.
Good evening. This is Amelia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest. We try all the galaxy's rarest and most dangerous commodities, so you don't have to. Whilst we here at the Galnet Rares Digest make a living out of travelling the galaxy, hunting down and testing rare commodities, such reporting is far from new. Hunters of rare items have existed as long as humanity has, whether it be a new kind of shiny rock, or one that splinters just right when you hit it with another rock and can be used to make pointy things with which to stick your rival, through to a new kind of edible plant that doesn't make your insides become your outsides or taste like rotten eggs. As a curious species, humans have always sought out things that are new. As proof that these ancient hobbies and jobs have been carried out for centuries upon centuries and still continue to this day, I've headed to the Arc system, to a planet rather ostentatiously named Gold, home to a rare that would have been familiar even in Victorian times, an orchid. Digging through historical archives, orchid hunting appears to have, in antiquity, been one of the most dangerous professions there was. Orchid fever gripped Victorian England, with explorers vying to be the first to find, name and sell unique and new varieties. The expeditions themselves were fraught with danger, and the archives at Kew Gardens, now relocated to an orbiting biodome along with many of the varied species rescued from planet Earth, are full of sorry tales. It all began with William John Swainson, a naturalist who, whilst packing some plant samples for return to England, grabbed a handful of what he thought were weeds to pack out the boxes. On arrival, the packing material had bloomed. The weeds had turned out to be a new and rare plant, quite beautiful and never before seen in the houses of the well-to-do in London. This sparked a gold rush. Teams heading out into the jungles of Brazil and Venezuela, the South Pacific, and deep into the source of the Orinoco River. Many a collector met a grisly end. Documents list one group of 8, one eaten by tigers, one boiled in oil by angry locals, and 5 more who were never seen again. The lone survivor, though, did make their fortune from the samples brought back. Gustavo Wallace died of yellow fever. David Bauman of dysentery. Albert Millikan was stabbed to death. The history books read closer to one of our Galnet Rares reports than they do the peaceful journals of botanists and collectors. One explorer turned back, having met a cannibal tribe in the forests of New Guinea, only to be instructed by his patron to return, recollect. He duly did so, only to find a new species growing on a pile of human remains. Individual specimens sold for over £1,000 at a time, a vast sum of money in Victorian England, and these inflated prices were maintained to this day, despite the ability of orchids to be cultivated in artificial conditions. Entire populations of varieties of orchid were collected, devastating the population and, unfortunately, almost ensuring the high price, as they would never be found again. In more modern times, due to this rarity, a genuinely new species can command a price as much as a well-equipped spaceship. One startling discovery of the 2900s was that certain types of the pollens from orchids were actually impervious to the perils of deep space, able to withstand radiation and extremes of temperature. And it has been suggested that orchids themselves may have seeded other planets over eons, their actual origin being completely unknown. Most orchids are quite simply beautiful when they bloom, turning from a very ordinary-looking plant into a delicate, sometimes fragrant, and massively varied floral display. There are orchids that look like dragons or jewelry, varieties throughout space that smell sweet or with heady herbal fragrances. Historical records from the 1900s show that just one variety has been found that is dangerous: the black orchid, the pollen of which is said to cause sterility, and when refined, be able to produce a nerve gas. One mad scientist, Drax, even attempted to weaponize the pollen of this orchid as part of a doomsday cult, threatening all human life on Earth and returning it into a paradise world ready to be colonized by his own progeny. Well, records are sparse, but we understand that his plot was thwarted by the efforts of British intelligence. And what survives from the tale would make a fascinating film. The Charis orchid, however, is harmless, found only on the planet Gold in the Arc system. It was discovered by Commander Sheneri, who fits the bill as one of those ancient jungle explorers, not afraid to tackle tigers, truculent natives, and the risks of being boiled in oil. Sheneri scoured the mountainous slopes of Gold in search of a rumored very rare orchid. After months of searching, and having reached an outcrop over a particularly stunning vista, just a single bloom was found, identified, and named. They fought off wild animals, carnivorous plants, and climbed dangerous-looking cliff faces just to reach this spot, and the single flower at the edge of it. With a sample taken back to a nearby station for analysis and cataloguing by Vista Genomics, it was discovered that this particular variety had one property unlike its cousins from Earth. It would only bloom when planted in beautiful surroundings. Without sunlight or the right color, plants nearby of a breathtaking beauty, and views to take your breath away, this orchid stays resolutely green and innocuous. When planted in just the right location, though, it flowers magnificently and gives off a scent that reminds me of something. They're often given as gifts between lovers or to well-loved family members, the gift timed such that the plant is in flower just as it's delivered, as a compliment to the recipient. Vain imperial types often wear them on their lapels in the hopes that it broadcasts to anyone looking their wealth and, of course, good looks. I've been sitting looking at the sample handed to me earlier today now for a while. It's beautiful, but there's just something about it that's caught my attention. I mean, it's the fragrance. If I close my eyes and breathe deeply, there's something at the back of my mind, buried deep in my memories, that's just out of reach. Letting my mind wander. Is it the perfume of a lost love, or maybe the fresh scent of a wildflower meadow? I can't remember. Long walks, of lying in the long grass, running through a forest just after some fresh rainfall. Childhood recollections. That there are fleeting memories of dinners, of drinks, candles, scents. This smell is captivating. And there, oh wow. Quite aside from the danger of hunting down rare orchids is the real danger from Charis orchid. I've just realised that I've been sitting here all day, lost in my memories, not moving a muscle. If I hadn't been tapped on the shoulder by room service who were quite rightly worried that I'd not had my breakfast yet, despite it being late into the evening now, I'd have probably kept sitting here, lost in my memories, wandering through the scents of my past and dredging up all the events that went with them. I mean, this is the true gift of this flower, as well as its biggest danger. Shan discovered something wonderful, something that, as a gift, is one of the more touching things to be given. Just make sure that there's someone there to wake you from your reverie and your thoughts. This is Amelia Hawke reporting for the Galnet Rares Digest. I'm sitting here lost in the world of my own memories, having smelled the flowers. So you don't have to.
Oh, isn't that nice?
I like that one because I don't get, shot at or stabbed or hurt or chased by
breakfast.
wild animals or blown up or, all
And
of
they
those
don't
things.
make angry flower noises.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, we've reached that point, haven't we? Those of you who may be leaving it to the last minute to move to the green room, this is the last minute. If you want to make your way there, we will work our way down in a second. I will play my little short video which covers a multitude of sins while we do that, and then
Somebody
we
will
will
have to help me. I can't reach the door handle for the green room.
okay, I'll see what I can do. Yeah, that's you in this picture, that is. See everybody in the green room in just a second.
Whee!
Welcome to the green room.
It's very blue for a green room.
Well,
Oh, show's blue.
yeah. And here we are. We're here. God knows what.
Boys.
That's interesting. One of the green room feeds just disappeared when I tried to move it. Never mind. It could be
Who's
anywhere.
eating all the peanuts?
Could be anywhere. Oh, I moved it to the wrong place. Oh, let me put it back up here.
Where have you dropped it?
That's all right. Into the other green room. That's fine. That would have upset really. Hello, everyone. We've got nice.
Hello, everybody.
So I'm going to suggest. I'm getting echo
I
for somebody.
Full Carius does his thing.
Yeah, the magic doodad thing.
Yeah.
Yes,
I wasn't quite ready for that, but I
That's
could
the
do.
official term.
Have you got
Magic doodad thingy.
Have you got your doodad, Dave?
I need to type everyone's name in first, but I could do if you want.
Oh, chop.
Hurry up then, come on.
Why are you
let's
still
keep
talking?
Night.
Copy
Start at the
paste.
bottom right now.
Yeah. Less talky, more typey.
They put all this effort in. Come on.
God.
Well, can't you even tell us who the
talk
first
about-
one is, so we can do.
Talk about 60 words a minute.
The test card.
Earlier.
I still don't understand the point of this.
Is anyone else dancing?
Yeah.
A short time
Of
late.
course.
I'm totally dancing right now.
Oh, shit.
I do that way in game as well when you're in the lift. If you tilt your head back and look up at the top of the lift, the music gets louder. And you can
Oh,
dance
yeah.
to it. And there's one that seems to be the girl from Ipanema. I like it.
Only
And the guy in
50
the
yards from
security
this
room
theatre.
watching the cameras can see better who you are.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. You're running out of time. All right. Okay. All right.
There you go.
Oh, all right. Pasted it in.
Look
Okay.
at that, all fancy.
Oh.
Ooh,
See?
Flossy, lovely. You are talking
Don't
to.
you listen, Pearson's here.
We're
no.
starting off.
Amelia,
No, we're starting Amelia to Jackman. Go for it.
Hello, Jackman. How are you?
Hello, Amelia. How are you?
I don't see that.
I'm
list.
pretty good, but it's not about me. It's about you right now.
Hang on,
How's
he's
your
fucked-
week
he's
and
fucked it up
Christmas
already.
been?
Well, I've just got over the flu, actually.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, getting over it is good, but
Yeah.
I mean, it's not a fun thing. I mean, is it that bad one that's been going around at the moment?
Yes, unfortunately, it has been.
Oh, that's not good. Well, I'm glad to hear you're on the mend, though.
I'm just getting better, put it that way. I've just been doing done some of the CGs and basically doing the getting the Quebec. So I'm doing the old grind for Federation.
Ah, the good old grind.
Yeah, I've done it on the Xbox, now I'm on PC, so I've got to do it all over again.
Oh no, you couldn't take your ships with you.
I'm not a splitter.
When you transferred over, could you not take your ships with you?
I did, but that's not on the Hutton one. I've got a new one on the Hutton.
So you're literally starting over from complete scratch.
Well, not exactly. I've got about 4.5 years in, but I've not been using it because I've not had a good enough PC.
I like how you it's like dismissive. Oh, it's only 4.5 years. That's nothing.
But yeah, so I've just been doing it and enjoying flying around with you lot, and getting used to life on my own, shall we say? And
Yeah.
basically for the mug, not a lot.
For the mug.
Really. Yeah, but for the mug.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, was that it for the mug?
Yes.
Oh, for the mug. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Thank you.
And Flossy to talk to Border Reaver.
Hi, Border Reaver, how are you doing?
You doing okay, Flossy?
Yeah.
Thanks for reading out to us the night before Christmas.
Yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed reading it.
A little bit of work went into it.
Yeah, I can see that. It's brilliant. So, how are you doing?
I'm doing okay. It's been a busy weekend game.
Yeah.
Some AX combat.
All right, yeah.
Mugging and ginning in Jeng.
Plenty to do, isn't there? Oh,
Yes.
People say there's nothing to do in the night.
Well, in my book, I've got 13 projects outstanding at the end of 3308.
I can believe that, yeah. I've lost count how many projects I've got outstanding.
From tweaking engineering, trips out to Guardians, and other bits and bobs.
Oh, very good.
Plus, I'm going to review the first 39 systems I did, because they're not completed for one reason or another.
All right, yeah. Oh, it's a bit of a completionist, are you?
I do like that.
Yeah.
OCD. And how are you doing, Flossy?
Other than talking with this cold, I'm doing all right, yeah. But,
Yeah, my wife's also got a cold.
Oh.
Been struggling for 2 weeks with it.
Yeah, well, my son and husband have both had this. I thought I was getting away with it. I started sneezing last Friday. I was sneezing all day, nothing, and then it just seemed to disappear. And then today, it's come back with a vengeance. I don't know what happened in the intervening 6 days.
Yeah, it's got its second wind.
Yeah. Okay.
Not that kind of wind, Mia.
Why me? Said nothing.
Come on, that's obvious, Mia.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay, so
Happy New Year to the whole crew.
Happy New Year.
Happy
to
New
you.
Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
And they think they're make
Happy
some money.
Hogmanay.
What was that, sir?
For the mug.
Oh, for the
Hogmanay.
mug. Thank
Hogmanay,
you.
happy Hogmanay.
Happy Hogmanay.
Yeah, happy Hogmanay.
Okay, so Volcarius,
And
look,
that's for the mug.
explain this system that you had to disappear off and type into. Go on.
So
explain
it's
what is the point of it, go on, and why is it so much better?
He only wants to know this because he hasn't got one.
Well, that's the thing he does. I've linked it every time
Oh,
so
yeah,
that
he
you
sent the
guys
link
can
in
do this
it.
yourself so that I don't have to. But no.
Well, where's the fun in that? When we
What
can
is
just
this? Some kind of thingy digest?
You
It
don't
wouldn't be
have a dog and bark
Volcarius's
yourself.
magic thingy if it wasn't
do,
needed.
do bear in mind, it's my first green room since June.
June.
Yeah.
Any
Well,
excuse.
well, you
it's
see,
better to let you
see-
do it and berate you for not doing it quickly enough.
basically, 21 kept screwing it up, as you all know. So I just made a
No,
thing where
surely
you,
not.
Never.
you just put it's got two columns, one called Studio 5, one called Green Room. Or if you press mistranslate to and from Spanish, then it's called like Sala Verde Estudio Sanco. But in any case, you just put the names in, press go, and it will just randomize the matchups and try to avoid people talking consecutively.
I think I was on
so-
that site once.
And talking to themselves, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Mm. Okay.
But otherwise, evening Hutton Orbital.
Good evening. How have you?
Good evening.
How the devil have you been?
Good evening.
Oh, yeah, quite well. Had a bit of a good as everyone has, but I think mods has been avoided, so I think that's good.
Well, that'll be the mugs, obviously.
Yeah.
Mug.
Well,
Oh, fuck.
Oh dear, what have I done?
I don't know, but you should clean it up immediately
Yes.
Clean up to aisle 7.
because that'll stain.
It's going to leave a mark.
It's going to stain something.
Well, I suppose floor mopping guy needs gainful employment as well.
Yeah, oh. He never stops.
I thought he had the week off between Christmas and New Year.
No, everybody else had had a week off.
Week off. Yes.
Ah, right.
He's
A
on
little cough.
No,
Floor
bloody
mopping.
great,
Yeah,
enormous cough.
487-hour contract.
I noticed you had another. You invented a new cough pun earlier, the coffee one, as in being like a cough.
Yes. It's
That was coffish.
yes. Oh no, coffee's much better. Yeah. Well, it's the person who gets a whole load of germs chucked in their face. Are they the coffee? No, the person receiving the cough.
There'd be the coffee and the coffee, certainly, yes.
Yeah. And welcome to Intellectual Hour.
QI got nothing on us.
Nah.
So I'll just pretend you asked me what I was doing, or do you want to? You do want to derail it further? I guess the latter. So go on.
No. No, please, bring this.
Yeah,
to a
these
halt.
days Sean's normally in his bed by now.
Yeah.
You can't beat a good derailment, as I used to say in my Hornby days.
Oh.
And you'd be hard days.
Go on then. We're apparently waiting to
Spit
hear
it
you.
out, man.
Yeah, what you been doing?
Well, so the plan we had to list what resource extraction sites are in each system got a bit interdicted by some Thargoids, figuratively. But I want to thanks again though to Hanky and the bus service, which we did use. So we've now got all of Colonia listed, and the beautiful megaship bridge of the Colonia Way, of course.
Yes. That was in a William McGonagall poem, a William Topaz McGonagall poem.
I heard some syllables.
That was in a William Topaz McGonagall poem,
Oh, it was a name. Right.
Yes. It was in Scottish, I do apologise.
But yeah, so I like many, I now have a good stash of AX hardware. That the special cutter build you saw earlier, that was just for the Orthrus. It was pretty simple though, and obviously gets you 30 million if you can find one. And of course we have those community goals to thank for the new weapons, so thank you, Flossy.
Not me.
Well, you didn't do any trading.
Not me personally.
Yeah, they're much better than having one of those uniquely augmented, unmodifiable Class 2 rating B enzyme missile racks with increased caustic damaging capacity. EAX missile racks is where it's at.
You have to do an at the end.
And of course, we now have those the gimbal AX multi-cannons double the damage of what the turret ones were doing. So I'd say it's never been easier to start murderizing Thargoid scouts.
I like that word.
Murderizing with an S or murderizing with a Z?
Murderizing.
Yeah, you can put them, if you've like an evacuation ship, you can put them on that, or as long as it's got a little bit of armor. Drop in a conf zone in open, keep it clear of any scouts. Everyone will love you, I promise. Yeah. And I'd say for anyone into standard combat but wants to fight interceptors, the Chieftain build recommended by AXI, or is that AXI, very good for getting started. You can take it out to the Pleiades first, is what I would do, and indeed what I did, and just practice on some Cyclops interceptors there. You can have absolutely no idea what you're doing and still at least escape. Or you can have an absolutely terrible fight and still kill it. It's a training Thargoid. And to give you an idea of how strong that Chieftain is, I was in a conflict zone in open in one of those war systems. We had a double Hydra at the end. one of the edge of the shutdown field from one of them hit me while I was being attacked by the other the entire time, and the chieftain still booted back up and got away with 19% hull. So you don't have to be good. It's just look up Axis Chieftain. It'll get you going.
I'm just going to make a note of that one.
I just and I
You hear everyone scribbling.
I just put up our tribute to Hanky and the bus.
I did notice. That's cool.
Give me a look.
Yeah, so you can just keep trying that out on a Cyclops until you get the idea of staying cold and flying around it. You don't even have to disable flight assist to do that. You just fly around it and use thermal vent and use a heat sink when you shoot. Then as soon as you kill one, go over to the invasion systems. You'll be fine. Although
Sure
you will need the you need the shutdown field neutralizer. You can stop that when you're on your own by just staying cold. But there are so many System AX ships around. The energy surges have a target always, so you're always going to get them. But apart from the shutdown field neutralizer, that ship is perfect.
Well done. We were eventually impressed when we put the video up properly.
Yeah, especially when we got the sound to go with it.
Fancy.
Well, I tried going vroom vroom bow pow poo poo. It wasn't helping.
I want to find out how the author has pushed me back, because the first boost I did, I don't know if you noticed, but my speed reversed like I had a boost the other way. I didn't know it was going to do that. That was unexpected.
Was it a rubber Orthrus? Did you get one of the dog toy ones rather than the real ones?
Does that mean it's got a force field on the front?
Possibly.
It's a lot of slobber.
Yeah, it was very strange, wasn't it?
Yeah, I don't know if maybe it was too early. Maybe I don't know whether it was the frame shifter normally that did it, or whether it's literally got a frontward pushback. But I'll have to investigate that. That was the bit I didn't intend.
Oh, science needed.
But in any case, thank you all very much for a year of shows. Hail the Empress, and for the mug.
Thank you.
The mug. Right, it's me next, and I am speaking to retired Navy IT1. How are you?
I am alive and well.
Yay! That's a good start to any conversation.
Around here, apparently it's an achievement from the way everybody else sounds.
Oh, yeah, okay. Are you in part of the frozen continent, or are you in part of the warmer, one of the warmer bits?
I'm sorry, say again?
Are you in one of the frozen parts, or are you in one of the warmer parts of the United States?
Oh, no, it's one of the frozen parts. Christmas Eve, we were 9 below 0 Fahrenheit, so about 40 below Celsius.
Yeah, it's when you said below Fahrenheit, I'm thinking, 9's not that bad, and then you said below Fahrenheit, I thought, okay, that's bad.
I want to live in a cold place like that.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do. I love the cold. I love snow.
Oh, the snow's fine. It's when your bits freeze off and literally you leave them outside on the step. That's the problem.
So, have you been indoors a lot then?
Yeah. I was not going outside if I could help it at all.
Oh, no.
The dogs didn't even like going out.
Sensible dogs. Ah, dear. What about an elite? Have you been busy?
I need 17 more deliveries, and I'll hit the 500 mark on my mugs and gin.
Oh, nice! There you are. You've.
And then I still need to go killing some bugs. I've got the fancy turreted multi cannons on my Type 10, so it's ready to go now.
Cool. How is the Type 10? Because people didn't like it at first when it came out. I take it it's now that people have had you've had a few years to practice and all the new weapons and things like that. Is that a lot better now?
I've always flown Type 10s. I've got 3 of them. I got one for fighting. I got one for mining, and I got one for trucking.
Nice.
Obviously, a man who likes spoilers.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Well, you got to look this way. I'm in Speedway, Indiana, okay, which is the home of auto racing.
The name alone tells us everything we need to know there. Speedway, Indiana. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like spoilers on your spoilers, buy a Type 10 with a ship kit. That's
Yep,
what I. That's what I did.
That's what I have.
Yeah, it's what I have. Yeah, mine was called the Massive Huff because it came out about the time we realised that Xbox wasn't getting Odyssey, so I flew off to Beagle Point in a Massive Huff.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
It's a very Scottish joke.
it is. Well, I don't know. I thought other people used the word
That'd
huff.
be a massive huff.
Yes, huff being like a sulk.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was my Type 10. I've still got that.
Marx Brothers used to joke about going off in a huff or a minute and a half. So yeah, it is international.
Yes. Okay. So anything else going on with you then?
I've got 2 brand new commanders that are less than a week old.
Oh.
That we are attempting to get trained up and in the squadron and stuff. And
Nice.
I don't like what they've done with the new people. It's too damn easy for them.
Not back in my day.
Exactly. Back in my day, we didn't have all this training stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. All this training stuff and starter zones and
get out there, get killed, and if you get killed, pick yourself up and go out there again.
Yeah.
And it was uphill both ways.
We sat there. We had pity on them. You know,
Yeah.
they're in the side. You know, in the sidewinders.
Yeah.
We had pity on them. We sat there and we put them in the teams with us. Less than 24 hours later, they're sitting there and they're flying around Asp Explorers now.
Yeah.
You know, hauling 88 pieces of cargo, and I'm going. It took me almost a year to do that.
It took me months to get an Asp.
It took me like 6 months to get my first Asp.
Yeah. Then I get my Asp handed to me.
Get your Asp.
Just beat me to it.
Yeah. Easy. Dear. So is that it? You've been sitting in because it's too cold outside. You've been sitting in playing Elite then?
Yeah, we've put in a lot of hours this week.
You keep saying we. Have you got somebody else helping you
out? I've got myself and my son, Dark
good.
Wolf, who is a member of the squadron.
Yes.
And then I've got Commander Fear Civic, who is also a member of the squadron.
Yes.
And then, like I said, we got two other new commanders that have just started this week that we're trying to get them up to maybe be a trucker.
And co-pilots, which will be the dogs.
I'm sorry, I didn't catch that.
Instead of co-pilots, co-pilots, which are the
Translators
dogs.
to aisle 7.
Yes, translator aisle 7. Clean up. Yeah.
Now my dog was going nuts. I think Dark Wolf has just arrived home, so the dog is going nuts because Daddy's home.
Yay! That's all good then.
And with that, I'll say for the mug.
For the mug.
Mug.
So, Litho, are we going to have the same conversation we had before the show started?
No, it's Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, probably. So how was your Christmas? Oh, no, wait, it's due to me, isn't it? So how was my Christmas? No, wait, it's due to me.
How was my Christmas?
No,
I'm asking you. How was your Christmas?
It was fine, thanks. I told you earlier.
Yeah, I know.
No, I had a very good Christmas, but I've had very little gaming time, unfortunately.
What?
I know, it's terrible. We've been doing things like socialising with friends and family and each other in the house, and it's just awful.
You know, the best way to fix that is just turn off the internet and just wait by the router, and everybody will come to you.
Yeah, maybe not. Everybody would come to me and hit me if I did that.
Yeah. The internet went down the other day, and my family seemed like reasonably nice people.
Until the internet went down. But, yeah, like everybody else, I'm getting over that cold that's going around. So if I suddenly go quiet, it means I'm hitting mute to avoid being the one that coughs on mic loudly, rather than just a bit of a throat clear. So I do apologise if I'm too slow on the mute button at any point.
Well, I've fortunately avoided that.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
You must be
but-
socialising even less.
Have you generally been
don't
at
set
home?
everyone. We have been visiting family, visiting in-laws.
Locally?
About 40 miles up the road, so relatively locally.
You know the
Next-
difference between in-laws and outlaws, don't you?
Go on.
Outlaws are wanted.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sean.
Moving swiftly on. Yeah, I've... Coughing again. I've got a fleet carrier loaded up with about 100 mugs and 100 gin, and I haven't had time to unload it anywhere yet.
In a fleet carrier, you could put that in a Python.
Yeah, I know, but I meant to get more than that, and that was as far as I got.
And what happened?
The doorbell rang, as far as I remember, and Christmas
No,
started.
that was Sean's sound effect. It was.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, I'm hoping this weekend, or between now and the weekend if I'm lucky, to get back in a ship and fly around and do some stuff and things. But I haven't even done the Santa's delivery stuff. It's terrible.
So how long do we have on that? Is it finished already? Who knows about these things?
I think they said it was running until January.
Okay. And what do you have to do for our listener?
Pick up some presents, decode a beacon, solve some fairly unsubtle hints as to where you should be going, and drop off presents in places.
And where do you start this thing?
I can't remember. Read Galnet News. It's Frost Dock in some system or other.
Yeah.
Is it not
But it's running
Jalbamba or
until
something?
I don't think I've had my mic up.
Jambalba?
It's running until the 5th of January.
Thanks, Flossy. And it's Frost Dock in some system or other.
Jambalba.
Jambalda. Yeah. Do you want that spelled?
No, we can
Might
ask
be best if you
Inara.
don't get it spelled.
Yeah, it's in Galnet. Look up the article in Galnet.
Don't worry, any spoilers.
NJAMBALBA.
Yes, Jambalba.
Spelt exactly how it sounds. And it's pronounced exactly how it's spelt. So yeah, you pick up some of the rare good there, which are presents. You scan the beacon to find the 6 clues, and you deliver the presents. A little late, but that's probably because of the postal strikes.
You don't get there's not a green combat sweater in it again, is there?
Probably.
That is one of the
It's that sort of level.
rewards.
Although I believe there are tens of millions of credits on one of them as well.
Mm.
Although you may have to do a delivery that's further away than the average station.
Yeah.
Ah, that one. That's what I've read.
0.22 times further than the average station.
Mm.
Yeah, that's why we're getting so many people into Hutton at the moment.
Yeah.
Very
Somebody there was cruel and sent a letter to Satan. I mean Santa. Sorry, my spelling's a bit off.
So you've done that, or you're going to?
No, it's on my list before delivering mugs and gin, which is another excuse I'll have for next green room to say why I haven't delivered any mugs and gin yet.
Speaking of which,
What, are you about to deliver some more?
I'm just coming into Gardener Relay right now.
Congratulations. But yeah, it's been fairly quiet here for me since last green room, so I think it's just for the gin. I mean, mug.
Yes, mug.
Gin.
So, Flossy, how are
Yes.
you feeling?
Well, not too bad.
Not too bad.
No.
Recovering. Is this the after or the
no,
before?
It just really started today. Apart from the sort of runny nose and sneezing, which I had nearly a week ago, and then just disappeared. And then
Jesus.
today I started with this cough, and that's weird. I thought I got away with it.
That's not good.
No, it's.
Are you wrapped up warm? Are you heavily medicated?
I'm not medicated. Well,
Are you
apart from being.
I was going to say
wrapped up warm.
the next thing was on the list was going to be alcohol.
I'm wrapped up in one of these electric blankets that goes right round you. So yeah,
Oh,
I'm wrapped up
nice.
warm. Yeah.
I've got to get me one of them.
Oh yeah, they're brilliant. And just I have to sort of wear it, which means every time I need to get up to go to the loo or go to the kitchen, I have to take it all off. But at least it's warm. I do have clothes on underneath it.
Get a longer extension lead.
Electrics in the bathroom.
So what have you been up to, Flossy?
Oh, I did some of the Christmas stuff, delivering the presents on a few different commanders. And then, I was getting a bit bored of that and I wasn't really sure what to do. I ended up going into Warcraft and playing a bit on there.
As you do.
As you do. Yeah. All my usual friends deserted me, so I went to I thought, well, I'll play World of Warcraft instead. I'm struggling with flying dragons, but never mind.
Oh, I love them. I cannot get enough of them.
I love them, but it's when you have to do these special things like fly through all these rings to get to the top of that mountain or something. What?
Yeah, I love it. It's brilliant. all the aerial tricks and the spins. And
I'm steering with my mouse, and you have to click these buttons to go up and along with the mouse, and I can't do both at the same time. So I'm struggling a bit there.
Sounds like you need 2 mice.
2 mice, yeah.
Could have 3.
I'm sure at
As long as
one
they're not
point
blind.
I had them on keys on the keyboard, but I can't find any that work now. It just seems to be a mouse click. I don't know. I'll have to look into it.
So you didn't spend much time in Elite Dangerous?
Not this week. Last week I did all the Christmassy stuff, so I've been a bit of both, really.
You know what I saw in the sort of couple of weeks up to Christmas? People logging on and then 30 seconds later they would log off again.
Oh well, yeah, that
So
was
just
to get
grabbing
the
their
arcs.
Christmas
Yeah.
arcs.
Yes. I did that with all
I saw that
my
a couple of
characters
times.
and all of his characters as well. So I was doing 12 different commanders every day.
Jeez.
The 12 every days of Christmas.
The first one, they had the flipping video going at the beginning every time I logged in anyone, and I'd left it a bit late. So it was getting on a bit. It's sort of the last 20 minutes or so, and I had a couple left of the lobbies to do. And I said, I can't do anything till this video's finished.
You know, if you hit escape, it stops.
No, it doesn't. You have to watch it at least once on each character.
Oh, God.
So
that's a nightmare.
I hadn't logged on these characters, so I'd never seen them, and I had to sit through them. And I actually missed out on 2 of them because they just ran out of time. No, never mind. I got them the rest of the times. So,
Anyway,
so
yeah.
I better call it then for the mug. Okay.
Mug.
So, Mia, what have you been doing?
Hello. I've been doing all right. The search for power
Spock.
regulators goes ever onwards. I'm just trying to get my last suit upgraded, my Artemis suit to level 5 now. So I've got it at level 4. I'm just looking to get it to level 5, and I'm short by a few power regulators, a couple other bits and bobs. I need some suit schematics and things as well. But so I've been working on that, just kind of trying to do missions and things, and you
ever thought
pick up some wee odds and ends.
with all the upgrading these suits, how can you actually walk in them? They must be power assisted, surely. Otherwise, they'd be flipping heavy, wouldn't they? I've got all this stuff, but I can't stand up.
Well, I mean, it's upgraded, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's heavier.
The upgrade makes it lighter.
Yeah, well, especially the Artemis suit. I mean,
Less
it's things
is
like
more.
it's things like the shield gets better and the oxygen gets better and things like that. So it doesn't necessarily mean it gets heavier. I can see that with the Dominator suit. Yeah, you can see that because the armor gets better and things like that. So yeah, so I've been doing that. I've been up upgrading the last of my suits and trying to find some wee bits and pieces for upgrading weapons while I'm going about it and things like that as well. So yeah, it's been good fun. Been keeping myself busy. And that's pretty much it. I had less time than I thought because of Christmas and things like that. But yeah, I'm doing all right. So yeah, that's it for the mug.
Mug. So, Amelia, how have you been?
Me? I'm good. You?
Yeah, good. Released any good books recently?
Not yet. I'm in the middle of writing one though. It's a long process, a lot longer than I expected. It's my first book though, so
Try not to
my
follow.
first
Try
full
not to
book.
follow a lot. You'll try not to mouth all the words as you write them down. That'll speed it up.
Yeah, that's the trick. That's the key. Is not to mouth the words.
I thought the second book was supposed to be difficult.
Well, I mean, I've written
The difficult
bits of
second
books, but this one's just all me, and it's very difficult not to fill it with puns
I don't know what you
Why
mean.
are you trying not to?
because it's
Surely
meant to
that's
be a
the
serious book.
You're writing the wrong book then. That's the problem.
I know, right? But
Who is
no,
this
that's
Philip, and why has he got puns? What?
I mean, I haven't over Christmas. I didn't get the chance to write anything of the book, so I'm going to spend some time over the New Year, especially New Year's Day. I think I'm going to hunker down and get some of that done. But my Christmas was spent mostly enjoying the insane amounts of food and drink that only Christmas can provide.
Yeah, that's what Christmas is for.
Yes, I mean. Even tonight, I had a massive Cajun boil. Have you ever had a Cajun seafood boil?
Nope.
It's the best thing in the galaxy. It's just
even
like
better than all the rest.
Yep, it's the best thing in the galaxy. Just flat, best thing. It's like corn, shrimp, crab, potatoes, spice. It's just butter. It's really good. It's just the best thing.
Just Googling this and it does look good.
And you just get a heap of it. And you sort of like just bury your face in the heap. And that's it.
Good way to enjoy food.
Yeah. And of course, mead, because mead.
Mead. It's been years since I had mead.
I always keep a dozen or so bottles of mead in the house at any one time so you can have a selection. Like, you got blueberry meads and honey from different parts of the world, and it's really good.
We have beers, wines, ciders, assorted spirits, but we haven't got any mead in.
I will need to get you a bottle of mead.
Need to fix that.
Yeah,
I feel the need
for mead.
For mead.
For mead.
Feel the need for mead.
It's better than the need for Swede when you run out of veg at Christmas dinner.
Oh, and I increased my I increased my fossil collection over the Christmas as well, so that's good.
Oh, what'd you get?
Oh, you invited Sean round.
He's come back.
I was waiting for that. I nothing spectacular, just a 185 million year old bivalve.
Wow.
Whatever you do, don't confuse it with the seafood in the boil.
It's like a stone oyster.
That sounds like a load of old mollusks.
But yeah, I mean, I've been enjoying Christmas, and unfortunately, I haven't been able to get online. So it means no Elite Dangerous. So, but I have been sporting the Frontier jacket, so with the Frontier logo on the back. That's like my favorite jacket at the moment. So I love it.
Got any good selfies in it?
No, I'm not a photo taker. The only
Yeah, you get
photos you'll
somebody
ever
else to
get
do
of
it.
me is the only time I get photos is when someone else is there to take them, and of course we've been kind of not very
Too close
sociable.
to each other for that. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So-
I need to check one of mine.
Yeah, no photos. Sorry. I will.
Well,
But yeah, other than all of that stuff, I'll just have to say, for the mug.
for the mug.
For the mug.
Look. And Harry Balzac.
Well,
How have you been?
for the first time in a very long time, I'm going to say, I did a lot more Elite than I have done probably over the last 2 years. I did an afternoon's worth.
Wow, that
You
is
had
a long
to-
time for you.
Yes, I had to. Some of my guests had to leave earlier, which left my wife working with her sister on something. So there was nothing for me to do for the
Food
afternoon.
poisoning, was it?
No, they've gone up there. Failed car failing its MOT, so father home to take daughter to work. An hour's drive away, so he didn't come back. So he was at home playing Elite, which meant he wasn't taking all my computer up. So I could get an Elite on my computer instead of him doing it. So yes, that's why I went in. I went out to Hutton. I went loaded up, and I went and did as much as I could with my Python. I did 14 muggings and ginnings, and then ran out of time at that point. But I really, really enjoyed doing that. That was great fun.
Oh, good. Good.
I'm sure I read somewhere that you
police got off more often.
You had 45, I seem to recall. Was it on your fleet carrier? Was that not you?
No, it wasn't me. I picked up 40. It's 45 and 14. So I picked up 45 mugs and 14 gin. So I did 14 systems, and so I still got the other mugs left. So I might find somewhere. I ran out of time to look for a lopsided system, but of course the problem is, since the allocation is always going to be more for mugs than gin, it's more likely that you it's unlikely you'll find very many systems with gin and no mug. So I might, if I get time, I might go and hunt somebody down with a fleet carrier. No. Anyway, but that was great fun. So I very, very much enjoyed that. So for the first time in a very long time, I've been able to join in with the conversation. So I will stop now and say for the mug.
For the mug, thank you.
Mug.
Right, and it's me now to speak to Chicks. How you doing? Are you back from the valleys yet?
No, I'm still in West Britain.
You're still in West Britain? Oh. Is it only black and white internet out there then?
Oh, no, it's... well, I had a bit of a complaint to whichever provider we have at the moment. And the guy was very good, and he sent a message to the do bit what's it, and flipped to, they did whatever, and and it's been better.
Oh, that's good. Well,
I mean,
that's
it's still not like a gig in London, fibre optic and all that, but they gave me some better bean tins and string.
Nice.
But it's been reliable for a change.
Yeah, well, that's good. Good. So you had a bit of gaming time then? Bit of Elite time?
Yeah, I've been in Elite a reasonable amount, but as you heard in the news, I've been doing a lot of ground combat.
Yes.
Ooh.
I haven't done that yet.
Yeah, this is in Warzone now. So the new Warzone came out in end of November, December.
Oh, right, okay.
And it's very good. I suppose it's DMZ, which I quite like the sound of, but of course, being British, it should be DMZ.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is a great mode where you go in as a team of 3 and you go into this undisclosed Middle Eastern city and carry out missions and stuff. Then you've got to get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper.
Get to the chopper at the end and exfil. So I've been doing that a fair bit as well.
Oh, that sounds good.
And I've been hanging curtains, and I've been installing gutters and unblocking gutters and all the usual shit. Sewing up window frames.
That spaceship is going to look lovely when it's finished, though.
I even painted my cement mixer.
Cement mixer.
If you're looking for a euphemism.
Yeah. He paints his own cement mixer, you know.
I did. It's not Christmas unless you paint your own cement mixer.
Yeah.
We'd be doing a jigsaw.
Oh, I like jigsaw. I've been doing a 3D jigsaw in my Oculus.
I've got a 2,000-piece jigsaw.
Ooh.
Right.
Which is
what of?
It's a sort of a mountain lake forest scene.
Oh no, it's not got a mountain reflected in a lake, is it?
Yeah, there's that.
That's going to be a bloody
shitloads
nightmare.
of sky, shitloads of green, shitloads of mountain, shitloads of lake.
Yeah.
And it's a metre wide.
You do realise you're not actually reversing entropy when you do that, don't you?
So it's what? It's like a metre by 800 or some 700. It's massive.
Right, okay, that sounds massive.
I had to tape 2 jigsaw boards together to get it all to fit.
Wow.
Yeah,
how far through it are you? Have you done the 4 corners and all the edges yet?
Not finished the edges, but done the 4 corners. Because of course,
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to finish it. So I'm going to put all the bits I've done onto one board and then fold it in half and shove it under the sofa because it won't fit.
Oh, okay.
So I need to.
Gangs.
I need to sort of make it more compact, put it away for a couple of months, and take it up again, and maybe next time I'm here.
Wow.
So yeah, loads of cooking, loads of trips to the beach.
Of course. Well, you say trips to the beach like it's something, load the car up, let's all go. It's at the back of your house.
Yeah, I know, but go to the beach every day. Apart from the days it was raining horizontal and it was like 50 mile an hour wind.
Apart from the day when the beach get blown away.
Well, pretty much, yeah. We have on the back of the beach is a golf course, and over the series of years, the golf club has tried to protect various holes on the golf course by installing these gabion baskets. And there was those double stacked ones and there's triple stacked ones, and it's interesting every year watching the sea absolutely smash these things. You think,
is it just bunker now? Is it 18
the golf
holes
course
of
is still
bunker?
there, but it steadily gets panned. And you watch on a cycle of probably about 8 years, all the sand, because the beach is 1.5 miles long. So you watch all the sand steadily move down the beach, and then it disappears for like 3 years. Nobody's like, where's all the sand gone? And then it slowly reappears at the other end of the beach, where it first started. It's quite cool. And you go, hang on, but these stones weren't here before. Where are these stones come? Of course, they were always there.
Yeah.
But they were just buried under the sand. So you can
under the
watch
sand.
this process. It's on a cycle of sort of 7 or 8 years.
Yeah.
So anyway, interesting.
So geology aside.
Well, 375, 425 million years.
Yeah.
Into the coast, the rocks in the coast. Geology aside.
Geology aside, anything else going on?
That's some gneiss schist. Well, there's enough already, isn't there?
Yeah, that's loads. Yeah. I'm trying to wrap this up, but you need to say
For the mug.
thing before. For the mug.
Mug.
Lovely. Thank you, everybody. Shall we just run back up into our little room?
Somebody needs to help me with the door handle.
Yeah, we'll do that. We'll talk to you in a few seconds.
I
boys
know
and
you
girls.
can't reach.
Go. I think we're all back here. Are we?
Yes.
Everybody's where they should
And
be.
we're back.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know about that, but we're all back here.
Well, that's really a wrap for 3308 then, isn't it?
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Will humanity survive to the end of 3309? Will
Do
we
we
be in
think it
little
was a-
green cages? I don't know.
Do we think on reflection it was a better year than 3307?
It was an exciting one.
I mean, let's
It
not
was an
talk about
interesting one.
3306. I mean,
Yeah.
No, let's not talk about that one.
We don't talk about that one.
No.
But I'm pretty sure that humanity will survive to the end of 3309. You last a really long time in deep freeze in a life pod. In Thog's freezer.
Yes. Well, we will have to see. I mean, whether we get killed off in game or out of game, we'll find out, won't we?
Yes.
Well,
indeed.
What a decent end to the year. Thanks to everybody for joining us in the green room. Thanks to everybody who's listened and watched and all that stuff. I think it only remains for... I still have a one working eardrum, so I think it only remains for us to say...
For the mug!
For the mug.
Mug.
For the mug.
And a happy new year.
journey too long, the cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We're taking anything, anytime, anywhere. Loading all the teen out to the brim with the rest for the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, everybody sing the trucker song. Flossy always seems to crash into the sun. Skibble lies the pilot on the Xbox One. Alvin at the free, you know he leads us well. Trucking across the galaxy, now everybody out. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the more, for the more, for the more. You know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. So give me a large pad that I can land on, and I'll give you cargo and sing you my song. No point 22 light years to go, cruising to no journey too long, no cargo too small. The profit margins never really mattered at all. We're gonna take the cargo where it's needed today. Super cruising all across the Milky Way. We're taking anything, anytime, anywhere. So shout it out loud, like you don't even care. For the more, for the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song. For the more, for the more, for the more. Yeah, you know just where we're coming from. For the more, for the more, for the more. Everybody sing the Hutton Trucker song.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're very sorry, but that's the end of the show. Everyone's buggered off now, so why don't you bugger off too?
Seamless.